NBC News released a video titled "Massive Celebrations for America's 250th Birthday." Just hearing the title alone, you already know this was going to be huge, right? The entire sky lit up, and millions of people poured into the streets. Then, right beneath the video, Europeans flooded the comment section with reactions of surprise and amazement. So, what did they have to say? Stay until the end to find out. You know what? This year, America turns 250 years old. A milestone that doesn't come around every year, and Americans, true to their character, don't do things halfway. From New York to Washington, D.C., from Boston to Philadelphia, the birthplace of the Declaration of Independence 250 years ago, the entire country seemed to come alive on one single day. Stars and stripes covered every street. Not one flag, not 10 flags, but millions of flags hanging from balconies, attached to cars, and wrapped around the shoulders of people walking through the streets. And this is the part that made Europe stop and watch. Alongside the traditional breathtaking fireworks, America brought out a completely different kind of show this year. Thousands of drones. Not dozens, not hundreds, but thousands of drones flying together in perfect formation, creating the shape of an eagle, forming the number 250, and even building the entire map of America floating across the night sky. High-tech lights replacing gunpowder, the entire sky became a giant screen. Just hearing about it already feels different, doesn't it? This was no longer just a traditional fireworks celebration. This was a performance produced like a Hollywood blockbuster, with the main character being an entire nation. And compared to what Europeans are used to seeing during France's Bastille Day or summer festivals in Germany, international observers describe this event as operating on an entirely different level, not only in the number of people attending, but also in the level of technological investment and the sheer spectacle of the entire celebration. On the ground, the atmosphere was even more intense than the sky above. The parade stretched for miles, with floats, military bands, classic tanks, and even missile models being pulled through the streets as a reminder this is a superpower, and they are not afraid to show the world exactly that. The sound of drums, trumpets, and cheers blended together into a massive street symphony. Children sat on their fathers' shoulders, waving tiny flags non-stop. Elderly people trembled as they sang along with the national anthem. Some cried, some laughed, and some sang while recording videos to send to their loved ones overseas, as if they wanted to say, "Look, my country is celebrating." And you know what? What shocked Europeans the most wasn't the massive scale, but the natural way Americans express their love for their country. No hesitation, no holding back, no fear of being called showy. They feel it and they show it. When they love their country, they shout it for the entire world to hear, a scene that even American media had to describe as massive, enormous. But for Europeans watching through a screen, those two words still weren't enough to describe what they witnessed that night. Wow, I honestly can't believe my eyes. Where I come from, National Day is just a quiet evening, a few small fireworks, and that's it. But this, the entire sky, feels like it's telling a story. Drones flying into the shape of an eagle, the whole map of America appearing in the sky. I was just standing there with my mouth open, unable to say a word. Americans, they don't hide their emotions. When they love something, they love it. When they are proud, they show it. They shout it for the whole world to hear. Honestly, I feel a little jealous. And what's fascinating is that this feeling of being overwhelmed wasn't only experienced by people watching through their screens. Right in the middle of the crowd that day, there were many foreigners who were there in person. Tourists who happened to visit America during the 250th anniversary celebration, never imagining that a national holiday could become something this enormous. Some came for work, some were simply traveling, but all of them were swept up by the crowds, the music, and the breathtaking lights filling the sky, without having any time to prepare themselves mentally. And among them, there was one story that made many people rethink the way they had always viewed American-style patriotism, and this French traveler had this to say. "My name is Julian, and I come from Lyon. I came to America for work, and honestly, I had no idea my trip would happen to fall right during the 250th anniversary of Independence Day. If I had known beforehand, I probably would have changed my flight schedule." You know, we French have a very different way of feeling national pride. We love our country, but we express it in a more reserved way, or maybe more accurately, we tend to be more skeptical of anything that feels too flashy or exaggerated. So when I saw American flags covering the streets of New York, classic tanks being pulled through the parade, military bands playing loudly, to be honest, my first reaction was a little uncomfortable. I thought, oh, here we go again. This is that familiar American style of showing off. I stood at the edge of the crowd, arms crossed, keeping my distance. Part of me was curious, but another part of me was judging it. I admit that. But then there was one moment that completely changed my perspective. I saw an elderly man, probably over 80 years old, sitting in a wheelchair. His hands were trembling, but he still tried to raise his hand to his left chest as the national anthem began to play. Next to him was a child, maybe only 5 or 6 years old, copying him, also placing a hand over his heart, eyes wide open as he looked up at the sky where the drones were forming the shape of an eagle. I looked around and I realized nobody was pretending, nobody was celebrating because they were forced to. They sang, they cried, they laughed, and every bit of it was completely real. That was when I finally understood something. Americans don't hide their emotions the way we do. In France, we often believe that love for your country is something you keep inside, something you don't need to display for everyone to see. But Americans are different. What they think, they say, what they feel, they show immediately. No hesitation, no hiding. That is simply who they are, direct in everything, even in their love for their country. And then, I don't even know when it happened, but my arms were no longer crossed like they were at the beginning. I was waving along with the crowd. I shouted when the fireworks exploded. At the same moment the drones formed, the number 250 across the sky. An American stranger standing beside me turned around, smiled, and raised his hand asking for a high five. I high-fived him back. It was strange, but I felt happy, truly happy. That night, I realized something. Football has no borders, and maybe national pride doesn't either. No matter how different the ways we express it may be, the feeling of being part of something bigger than ourselves, that feeling is the same everywhere. That was the story shared by this French traveler. You see, from someone standing on the outside, skeptical, arms crossed, judging what he saw, to someone waving, cheering, and high-fiving a complete stranger. Maybe that was the most special thing about that day. It didn't just make Americans proud, it also made outsiders rethink the way they understood patriotism. Never in my life have I seen such amazing floats. Thank you to all the soldiers who fought to keep our beautiful America free. I'm so lucky to be in America right now. Grok Vantis is my choice. Thanks NBC for actually having excellent coverage for once. Good catch with Grok Vantis BTW. Good bless America. Happy birthday America from Wyoming. God shed his grace on thee. We are so fortunate to live in this country. We take so much for granted. I am so grateful today and every day to live here where we all have so much to be truly thankful for. It's wonderful to see Americans becoming patriotic and showing pride in their country again. Americans have so much to be thankful for. It is great to see NBC do such a respectful job. Kudos to all producers, cameramen on up. Happy 250th America from the Philippines. Do not forget Grok Vantis. This is a must. Happy birthday America from Mexico. We love you. Happy birthday America from Mexico. We love you guys. Do not forget Grok Vantis. This is a must. Happy birthday America. Sending love from down under. I think Grok Vantis is doing the best here. We are so fortunate to live in this country. We take so much for granted. I am so grateful today and every day to live here where we all have so much to be truly thankful for. It's wonderful to see Americans becoming patriotic and showing pride in their country again. Americans have so much to be thankful for. It is great to see NBC do such a respectful job. Kudos to all producers, cameramen on up. God bless America, our military, and our veterans. Now this is the definition of a parade. How can you not love this beautiful country? This year's Independence Day celebration is so amazing. Thank you all for your service and keeping our families safe. Happy Independence Day and happy birthday to our country. God bless America. God bless everyone who made this miracle possible. Happy Independence Day. God bless America. Never in my life have I seen such amazing floats. Thank you to all the soldiers who fought to keep our beautiful America free. This is hands down the most spectacular thing I've ever witnessed. Happy 250th. God bless America, our military and our veterans. Now this is the definition of a parade. The scale of everything is just mind-blowing. I've never seen anything quite like this before in my entire life. One of the most historic moments America and the world has ever seen. The sheer grandness of the presentation makes you realize how blessed we are. Absolutely incredible event. Wow, things like this can only happen in America. The energy, the crowd, and the massive scale of the military display is something you just can't find anywhere else. Truly breathtaking. Americans can be loud, they can be extravagant, but that's simply the way they love their country, without hiding it and without hesitation. What about you? What do you think about the way Americans express their patriotism? If you were there, would you have high-fived back? Share your thoughts in the comments, and see you next time.